Greeting and welcome to the Intensive Success Growth. I'm your host, Nishant Sharma. Please give warm welcome to our guest, Jeff. Jeff is a success coach, a mortgage specialist, entrepreneur, and podcast host. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you today.
Okay, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
You know what? My whole life growing up, my parents were always supportive in everything we did. Me and my brothers, we were all athletes. We played in a lot of sports and had a lot of support from our parents. And my dad was a teacher. My mom worked at a dental office, but he was also a farmer, and he encouraged us to do things on our own, entrepreneurial things. And that was something that I always wanted to do, is be my own boss and kind of take control of my own destiny. And when I graduated from college, I graduated with a major in entrepreneurship. But I had a really good job opportunity at a bank. And I actually turned it down at the time because I rodeoed professionally and I just wanted to continue doing that. But I did go back to the bank, and it was a great industry. I loved it. But I also had an opportunity to meet a lot of other entrepreneurs during that time and surround myself with business people. And with one of those relationships, I ended up leaving the bank and starting my own manufacturing company that we ran for 16 years. And I just had the opportunity to be really surrounded by some really great people that have just helped me realize what I wanted to do and get me to the point where I'm at now, where I want to help other entrepreneurs become more and more successful.
Okay, great. So, what are the top three reasons why do people fail?
I think one of the number one reasons why people fail is their own limiting beliefs, that regardless of what they want to achieve, they've got their own thoughts within their head that are telling them that they can't do it. And once they can overcome those, it's amazing what people can do. I also think people fail because they focus on the things that they can't control rather than those things they can control. You know, there are going to be circumstances where you go through a failure because of things that are out of your control, but that's usually where a lot of the focus is. And when people focus on the things that they can control, I think there's a lot more chance for success. And then probably the third thing was not having a plan or not having a good plan. And what I mean by that is not setting the goals, understanding what they need to do to achieve those goals, and then being patient and sticking with the plan until those goals are achieved.
Okay. What are your top three success secrets that other can model from you?
You know what, going back to what I just said, I think the number one thing is planning. You know, really figuring out what your goals are, figure out what those targets are, and then figure out a plan on how you're going to achieve them, and understanding your why behind it. You know, I go through a process with my clients on figuring out their goals and then figuring out what their purpose is, their why behind each goal, so that they can stay focused and motivated and then create that plan. Next would probably be accountability, because once you've got those plans, you need a coach or a mentor or a group that it's going to hold you accountable to those things. I hold accountability groups on a daily basis where people will say, okay, here's my big goal. Here's what I need to do every month to get there. And so this is the monthly goal I have this month. And then every day we get on a call and say, okay, what are you accountable today? What are you going to do today that's going to get you closer to that goal? And did you do what you said you'd do yesterday? It's a quick call, but just holding people accountable makes a huge impact. And then the third thing would be creating daily success habits. You know, I have what I call my mindset questions that you just go through every morning, and it helps prime you for the day. And it's things such as, you know, what are you grateful for? What are your top priorities today? What are you going to do today that's going to make you step out of your comfort zone? Because every time you step out of your comfort zone's growing. And so when you can create daily success habits, you'll become more powerful and successful.
Okay. What's your company motto?
My company motto is I teach people to be optimal performing entrepreneurs. And what I mean by that is, you know, being optimal performing means it's more than just focusing on building the business and being successful in business. Because in my mind, if you build a great business and you're really successful, but you're failing at home or you're failing with your health or another area of your life, you're really not successful. And so when I work with entrepreneurs, I help them to be more than just successful business people. I just want them to be successful people in general.
Okay. Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is an entrepreneur who is committed to their success in business, but also, as I was saying, in their relationships, their finances, their health and fitness, their spirituality, their personal development, all of those areas. And they're willing to be coachable and they're willing to commit to their success.
Okay. So what are your well-defined products or services?
I have a number of different ways I coach people. I've got my one-on-one coaching programs. I've got group coaching where we have monthly group coaching calls. We have monthly hot seats. They're in some of my other programs, and it's really effective because not only are they getting some great coaching, they're networking with some incredible people. I have online programs such as my High Achievers Mindset Secrets program. I've got one of my most powerful programs is my High Achievers Accountability, the one I mentioned earlier, that every morning we have a 10-minute call and everyone just goes through what they're accountable for. And then I've got marketing programs, I've got my podcasts. And so I've got a number of different ways I can serve people.
Okay, great. So how do you deliver 5-star client experience?
I think the biggest thing what I want to do for my clients is to deliver value. And, really for them to be coming to me, it's because I have things to offer them that can take them to the next level. And I want to try to do that in a way that we create a relationship that it's a long-term relationship, because I know with the two of us, they're getting more and more successful on a daily basis.
Okay, great. So how do you handle rejections?
Rejection's hard. But it's something that happens all the time. And I think one of the downfalls of a lot of people is not knowing how to handle that. And so I think a big part of that is really looking at it for what it is and looking at it from a way that it's probably not me. It's not necessarily me that's getting rejected, but it's how they're seeing a situation or whatever it might be. But don't take it as a personal thing and do the best you can.
How do you handle rejections?
So that's what I just answered there.
Okay, same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. No issue. Like, how do you start your day?
How do I start my day? I think that's an important thing to do is create a routine. One of the things I learned from Darren Hardy is what he calls bookending your days. You can control how you start your day, you can control how you end your day, and everything else can fall apart. But if you can do those two things, you can really have control over your life. And so how I start my day is I get up early. I get up at 4 a.m. The first thing I do is I come here in my office, I write out my top goals. I go through my mindset questions that I had mentioned, and then I do my planning and scheduling and just review my day. And then I go to the gym. After I get home from the gym, I have one of my accountability calls. I have my time with my kids to get them ready for school. I have another accountability call, and then I get my kids to school. And that's kind of my morning routine.
Okay. What are you grateful for today?
One of the things in my mindset questions is, what are you grateful for? That's something I ask myself every single day. And I think that's an important question to ask. And today, what I'm grateful for is my wife, the support that she gives me in growing my businesses and chasing my dreams.
Okay. How young are you?
I am 48.
You are not 48-year young. You are 80-year young with 30-year experience.
There you go. Yes.
So who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
You know what? I have quite a few people I would consider my mentors, even though some of them wouldn't know they're my mentors. One of them is one of my business partners. His name's Dal, and he's been a mentor of mine for probably 20 years. He's taught me a lot of business concepts, life concepts, and he's someone I still look to. I look a lot to learn from people like Russell Brunson and Myron Golden, and there's just some amazing people that help me to continue to learn. Personal development and learning is something very important to me. So I'm always looking to mentors to help me improve myself.
Okay. What's your favorite book and what's the learning?
Oh, I mean, if this is on video and you can see, I've got a large library behind me. I love reading. I have a lot of great books that I love. Right now, one of my favorite is Boss Moves by Myron Golden, but probably my favorite are some of the old time ones, books such as Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the reason for Think and Grow Rich is because it's one of those books that I've read multiple times, and I think I've got something new out of it every time. And it comes down to a lot of the power of our mind. And there's so much that our success is dependent on what is going through our mind.
Okay. What do you want to remember for?
I want to be remembered as someone that made a difference, someone that made the world better for other people.
Okay. How can we support you?
How can you support me? One would be on social media. I'm on Instagram at Jeff Heggie Coaching. Listen to my podcast, The Jeff Heggie Show, and my daily podcast is Daily Success Strategies. And you know what? I've actually got a program. I did a master class recently, and I was going to take the replay down this week, but I'll leave that open for your listeners because I would love to have them go through that, learn some of the things I teach, and I'll give it as a free option for them if they want to go to jeffhaggie.com/peak performance. That's a free masterclass that I'll offer to your listeners. Okay.
So, what would you like to say about your guest experience on this show?
You know what? This has been fun. This has been some great questions. Made me think, made me really reflect on a lot of the things that I do, and so I appreciate it.
Okay. What's your final word?
My final word would be overcome your limiting beliefs. Don't believe your own lies, the things that are holding you back. And, you've got that vision of that person you want to become. Start being that person now. Start living that life and of how that person would live, and really go chase those dreams. Okay.
Thanks, Jeff, for sharing your wisdom with us. On the behalf of our team and community, we really appreciate you. Until the next time, all good wishes to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.